What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com, here with a name you know, the man, Zicky Dice. Even though you've been out of action because of everything that's going on, you've still had quite a busy time lately.
Oh, I've lost my mind. I have not. The work has not slowed down, and that's the price you pay being a megastar. And to stay relevant these days, you got to stay on top of things, and that's exactly what I've been doing. So, excuse me. I have recently partnered with Twitch, and as of next week, I will be a streamer full-time with Twitch. As if you couldn't get enough Zicky Dice on your televisions, now I am bringing you all ZDTV. That starts next week at twitch.tv/Zicky Dice. And I wish once we get going, I'm gonna be honest with you, I might spill some beans here and there.
Okay.
So if it happens, we drop some bombs right here, right now. That would be outlandish. So we'll see how much we can get out of me today. But we do have a lot of outlandish fun planned ahead. So.
I do always like to give people a fair opportunity to bury whoever they want. I mean, not that I would actively seek that in order to get a headline or anything. I wouldn't do that. I just leave people to their own volition to do that. But of course,
that is one thing I do best. I'll be honest. There's a bomb right there. I love to bury people and get over at their expense.
But I think that's the way to do it. I think that too many people went the nice route. Because for a long time, you had the shoot interview. You'd have the backdrop and somebody would sit in a hotel room and do that. And then everybody went nice. I think it's time to bury people again.
You want to know what I think?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the locker room need a good slap to the mouth sometimes.
Okay.
That's what I think. And I think that there should be someone to smack some people in the mouth from time to time.
Are Dave Lagana and Billy Corgan among those who need the slaps? Are they among those, or are they exempt from the slaps?
I think we're having technical difficulties here. Let's just.
What? I mean, we had to move this interview because you have a call with the NWA. I assume very important business stuff, maybe financial, something like that.
Unfortunately, I signed a contract, so I have to be there.
Yeah, I was hoping that you would just spill the beans and be like, well, Tim Storm went backstage. He punched Dave Lagana in the mouth. He punched Billy Corgan in the mouth. We're trying to figure out how to solve all this.
If we're up and running, I might have a story like that for you. I've got a lot of good gossip. We'll just see how much I want to stir up in the wrestling world today. And I've been needing a platform to say some things, so I might just do that.
Well, I mean, admittedly, you were on Chris Van Vliet's show, which is like the monster of all platforms. So, I mean, and of course, he gets all the traffic. Chris Van Vliet, great dude, great interviewer.
You see, he looks like a doll. He's just so good looking. It was hard for me to actually converse with him.
Yeah, the thing is, you expect a guy who looks like that to be like pretentious, and he's not. He's not. No. He's a very nice guy. He definitely would not be like Tim Storm is, like going around and just punching people in the face. Punch people in the face. But we're here to talk about Zicky Dice, and admittedly, you got a lot of stuff going on from music to wrestling to Twitch. Like, always got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
How has life been for you? I'm sure that's a question you've been asked a billion times at this point, but still.
Well, I describe my mind and life like I don't know if you've ever been to Disneyland. There's Space Mountain. There's just like all these stars coming at you as you go through the roller coaster.
Okay.
That's my brain with ideas. So I decided to grab a big old net, catch a few of them, and we're bringing them to life. Here we go. I had Ricky Starks fly out this weekend. Okay. My friend Ricky Starks came out. He said, I'm coming to hang out. I said, yeah, right. And I was like, we were on a shoot, and he said, I'm coming tomorrow. And I said, I need to know for sure. He said, if you ask me one more time, I'm not coming. He said, be in Santa Barbara at 11:30. I said, okay. And I said, if this dude ribs me, this is going to be the worst joke of all time. But he showed up, and we filmed some amazing, I hate this word, but content together. And that's being edited. I wish we could damn. I can't wait for y'all to see this. I wish I could say more. But you
can say whatever you want.
Okay. What we did was we reenacted the end scene of Seven, but instead of what's in the box, it's what's in the fanny pack. And
Oh.
he plays Morgan Freeman. I play Brad Pitt. A buddy of mine, Buddy Royal, is playing Kevin Spacey in this bit, and it's hilarious. And that will be debuting on Twitch first before anywhere else. So that's being edited. That was supposed to be a huge surprise, but I can't keep my mouth shut because I'm so excited about it. But just been working on different stuff like that and staying busy. I've been thankful enough to have partnered with Twitch during this quarantine, because before that I was definitely losing my mind. My whole routine got messed up from working out and traveling like I was. And but here we are making do. So we'll be ready to rock and roll when this all clears up.
Admittedly, when I look at Ricky Starks, the first thing I think is Morgan Freeman.
Oh, he played a killer, Morgan Freeman.
And he's been in the news a little bit of late. He and NWA parted ways. You all had your battles, of course, but maybe some friendship going on there as well. Obviously, how do you feel about him stepping away from the NWA? Because he was a breakout star in the early days of NWA Power.
He won't tell you this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it right now because we shared a Pizookie together on my couch this weekend. I love Ricky Starks, and Ricky Starks loves me, and it's been pretty hard for me to see him leave, to be honest. We stayed in the same Airbnb, and we were working this program together, and I love the contrast between Ricky and Zicky. I mean, it's completely different, and I think that we can put asses to seats together. And before coming into NWA, there was only a few people I knew coming in. That was Royce Isaacs, Dave Marquez, and Billy Trask, and I only knew them from coming through Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. So I became friends with Ricky from staying together in the Airbnb and then working this program. But it's questionable times at the moment. Mm-hmm. We never know what will happen once wrestling starts back up again. So, in the meantime, we've got Carny Land and a bunch of other content coming out, and getting ready to get back in the ring, hopefully here soon. So,
heard you cause them to have to mute a small section of Carny Land because of your copyrighted music, Zicky Dice.
Yeah, I purchased the rights to my song. We're in actually finalizing that up as we speak. Mm-hmm. And I had to hunt the dude down when I found that song. It took me 2 years to find the artist. But we're working on something. So what's going on right now is the label owner is actually a little sick at the moment. So we just are waiting for the label to approve. All he has to do is click one link and then we're all set to go. So whenever that happens, we'll be rocking and rolling.
And YouTube can be a pain when dealing with a lot of that stuff too, quite frankly. I mean,
yeah, they're on it. They are definitely on it.
Yeah, and sometimes they're on it a little bit too much with all the third parties and all that stuff that get involved, which, I mean, you're involved with music, so I'm pretty sure you're pretty well aware of that.
Absolutely.
I dig your music. Who influences you? Like, I don't want to throw out like a name of a band that says I hear a little bit of, because you all have a unique sound of your own, but who influenced you in music?
Me, I love Poison the Well, Deftones, Alkaline Trio, Starting Line, Get Up Kids. I'm a huge emo boy. I always have been, and I always will be. I love sad and depressing music. And I love my heavy stuff as well. But Heart to Heart was always a melting pot for everyone in the band. We all have different influences, and we all kind of throw. And we never said like, "Hey, we want to be this specific style." Even though there were times when we tried to say, "Hey, we're going to be this type of band," it never ended up that way. And I'm glad in retrospect that it didn't, that we were able to all throw in our little bits and pieces to create the recipe that was the Heart to Heart records.
And fantastic stuff there too. Like,
thank you.
I was able to look back at some of it, and I did it in researching for this interview, and then I found myself leaving it on autoplay so I could listen to more music throughout the entire process. And I was like, damn, this is really good. This is fantastic stuff.
We released our newest record this past Valentine's Day on Inbo Records. So you can check out Heart to Heart's Heartbreaker anywhere you stream music. There's a music video for Insufferable up. We are in the works of working on some new stuff already. I started off in music. Music is what brought me to this entertainment circus. And, and from music got to wrestling. And I will always do work in music one way or another, and I will always continue to create music, even if it's not at the super busy scale it once was. But it's in me, man. Might as well groove.
I wanted to ask you that because you're involved in music. You're doing the streaming now. You're a pro wrestler. Did one of those help you develop versatility for the other and the other and the other? Because
absolutely.
You can really tell it. And that versatility is one of the most important things in the entertainment business, not to just mention pro wrestling.
Absolutely. And I feel, and I say this to my buddies, I feel that I had a little bit of a head start coming into wrestling, even though I broke in at a later age. But I learned to connect through music and through heart to heart. I've been promoting and hustling since I was 15 years old. And so I know how to talk to promoters. I know who to go for designs and artwork. I know who to go to print my merch. I know how to contact promoters. I know how to contact colleagues. And most importantly, I know how to connect and entertain. And so I did have that head start. It was, I had to find the new groove to get in. But I say, like I said, it's the same circus, just different game. But yeah, I have music to thank for that. So
as an independent wrestler, when you started to gain more and more attention, were you already kind of prepared for that to some degree because of your experiences elsewhere?
I knew, and this doesn't sound so cocky and confident, but I knew if I just continued to put in the hard work that it would pay off. And there's times where I contradict myself, and
sure,
that's the doubt. Like, hey, are we really ready for this? But here we are now, and the fire it's burning. And every day there's some new adventure that I got. This is what I've been working hard for my whole entire life. And now here we are. And now I am so thankful that I get to stream and wrestle for work, and play music. Some people will say, hey, I heard him talk about this his whole life. I never think he'd actually do it. But they'll be like, hey, a few of them will be like, dude, I could have told you it was about to happen. I just, when I set my mind on something, I just drive and keep going, pedal to the metal. People told me I couldn't get my band out of my mom's garage. And, we were on Warped Tour and playing in front of 3,000 people a night and stuff like that. And then, and people will tell you straight up that, hey, I had friends call me recently and say, hey, I have to apologize. I said, for what? He said, I told people behind your back that I thought you would fall face first in this business.
Wow.
Me and everybody else wrong. I said, well, that's a shitty thing to tell somebody, but hey, thank you for apologizing, and it's true. And it's true. And Seth Rollins will tell you himself that he thought I was going to bullshit my way through this. And he, as I won the title, he said, you know what? He's like, I'm proud of you. And that meant a lot to me. I never thought that I would hear that from him, especially when he just thought, like I said, he thought I was just going to bullshit my way through this. But I went to Black and Brave, and I set the bar for all the other students to go there, because that's what I do. I want to set the bar, and you come and get it. And that's another thing. Everything I've done has been so easy. It hasn't been simple, but it's been so easy. You just have to fucking work and bust your ass.
Seth probably thought that you were content having your mom's band hang around in your garage, and he was like, he's got to get his mom's band out of that garage before he does anything.
He's a fan of my mom's band, I think is what it was.
Yeah, so you mentioned training at Black and Brave. So you grew up or were based in California, right? And you ended up at Black and Brave. Explain to me how that unfolds.
That's a very funny story, actually. We were on tour when I was in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was acting like a jack-off on stage, and we were getting booed in between songs, and then the crowd's singing along, so they're still interacting. I'm getting booed in between songs, talking trash. I was just, playing the heel on stage, and the tour manager's like, I got to talk to you after the show. And I was like, oh, man, we'll kick off the tour. And he's like, hey, he's like, you're agile. He's like, you're athletic. He's like, you love professional wrestling. He's like, you're oozing with charisma. He's like, I think you need to go train. I think you need to become a professional wrestler. And I sat there and I said, He's like, I think you can be very successful in this business. And that is my brother, John James Ryan Jr., who told me that. And I text Seth Rollins immediately, because I had met Seth through the music scene and through touring. And I said, hey, I want you to train me. And he said, And I said, yes, I'm going to be better than you are one day. He said, I'll see you May 1st. And that was 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, I would have been a month into training. And I packed up my shit and moved from Central Coast of California to Moline, Illinois, where I'd never been, surrounded by tornado sirens and cornfields, and graduated from the third class of the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy. And what was cool about that whole experience is I was at WrestleMania 31. I watched them cash in. It was 2 weeks later that I moved to start training with a current WWE champion. So I'm one of 12 in the world that can say they trained with him the first time he won the title. There were other students the second title run.
Sure.
But I was in the first match, okay?
And that's a massive shift, like going from California to the Midwest. What kind of adjustment did you have to make? Because I mean, I'm sure that you were pretty well traveled by that point anyway, because of how you mentioned you were on tour. But was there any culture shock, so to speak, moving from a place like California to there?
Absolutely. Totally different vibe. Like I said, there are a lot of cornfields, and I brought up the tornado sirens because I was out walking the dog and I heard some sirens. I asked my neighbor, I said, "What are those?" She's like, "Oh, that's a tornado." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I went inside and took a Xanax and went to bed at 1 p.m. But it was cool. It was cool being in a nice spot. It was also nerve-wracking at times. I literally picked an apartment and I saw online. I said, "Okay, that looks good," and I didn't know what I was walking into, but I knew that I was going to put everything into it. And here we are.
The Midwest has some weird stuff like that. Like I'm in between Lexington and Cincinnati, and population 200, we have a fire siren every day at noon. Like for some reason, they feel it's necessary to be like, "It's noon!"
Yeah.
Like we have clocks.
You know what? I dig the Midwest. I've got some love for the Midwest. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, I like it out here. I do, but definitely some unusual things. And since that has progressed, I mean, obviously you still keep in touch with Seth and get advice from him and the like.
Yes. And that's one of the, a lot of people always say, yeah, you went to Black and Brave, but I bet you he wasn't there. And it's like,
I was heard he was, yeah.
He was. And we've been in the ring with him hands-on multiple times. He's always there. The dude eats, sleeps, and breathes pro wrestling. That's straight up. And you got to take your hat off to him. And he was always there, and he's still there. And that's the best part about going through is I sent him promo ideas, I sent him match ideas, and he's still there to critique and when he doesn't have to. Mm-hmm. But that's, but one of the perks about going to the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy.
Yeah, one of the people that trained there said, yeah, he will, like, one of the perks is you basically get to ask Seth whatever you want when you train there. Like he would do Q&As and stuff in recent years. And because he would learn his experiences would help people, even if they just happen to be curious about them.
And I'll tell you this from being right there, front row perspective, people do ask anything.
Yeah.
And there's been a few questions that, but they ask everything.
Oh yeah. I had one person that said, yeah, a guy asked, "What's it like working with Sheamus?" And I was like, that's an unusual thing to ask during a training session, but
yeah. Everyone's got their,
Yeah, of course.
Reason.
Well, you ended up in NWA. How did that come about? Who reached out to you and made that happen?
That's a hilarious story too.
Tim Storm punched Dave Lagana. You helped Dave Lagana up, and he said hired.
Well, I actually wrestled Tim Storm in the 10 Pounds of Gold series a few years back when they came through Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. You may not recognize me. I've got brown hair, a big belly, and a big red beard, but that was me. Wrestled him, yada, whatever. I beat myself up, and I live in Northern California now in Sunnyvale. And I was in my NorCal carload, and we were driving down. It's a 6-hour drive to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and started venting to the guys. I'm like, look, I don't know what else to do. I'm getting, I'm going to turn, I'll be 33 in September. So I was like, yeah, and coming from music, like I'm getting married in October. And it's like, something's got to happen. Or I've literally flew myself to promotions, had WWE tryouts, did extra work, did this, went there, worked for them, didn't work for them, got told, but I did everything I possibly could in my reach. And I didn't know what else to do. And so, we had that talk on the way down. We sat there, and got the championship wrestling from Hollywood a little early. In the 3 years of working for them, I've never once been asked to cut a promo, not live, not backstage, nothing. And I never complained about it. I knew that when my time would come that I would over deliver as I have always planned and knew that I could do. And that would be that. And it so happened to be that day. Nick Bonanno said, "Hey, Zicky, you're here early. Why don't you get dressed and say a little promo? Or give us a little something." I said, "Okay." I went out there and I said 6 words. I was immediately got the finger from Billy Trask. I followed him back to where I saw Billy Corgan and Dave Lagana standing 100 feet away. And I was like, oh. And I walk up and Billy's like, he's like, "Oh, look at you." He like puts both of his hands in it, grabs my hands. He goes, "Look at your hair and your sunglasses and your earring and your fanny pack." And he's like, I'm William Corgan. And in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, I know who the fuck you are." You know,
Yeah, of course.
Like, again, I love Smashing Pumpkins for one, you know, and for two, you're famous in the alien world for seeing a shapeshifter with your own eyes, but we'll talk about that another day. So I sit there and I'm like, he's like, "What are you doing December 14th? And I sat there like, that sounds familiar. "Oh, me and my fiance just planned a snow trip." I said, "Absolutely nothing. I'm completely free." He said, "Well, how would you like to work for me in the NWA?" I said, "I would love that." He's like, "I'll see you Monday. Or we'll have Lagana reach out Monday." I said, "All right." So Lagana reaches out. I go out for the first pay-per-view. I was there, and then I debuted the next day for season 2. And after that day, Lagana came up to me and was like, "Hey, man, are you having a good time?" And I said, "Yeah, thank you for having me, blah, blah, blah." He said, "Listen, I got you on this set of tapings and for the pay-per-view, and then, you know, we'll see what happens from there, see if we can find something for you." Hello. I'm the NWA World Must-See Television Champion with a perfect record of 0-0, and I haven't even had one title defense. And I am getting that. My back hurts from carrying the NWA on it. I've been getting that. I'm on every news headline day after day. Outlandish Zicky Dice, outlandish Zicky Dice. And, you know, you hate to see it. A lot of people really do. They're probably squeezing their phone screens right now, but lo and behold, sorry, honey, I told you. Mom, the band's going to make it. Your band too. You know?
Admittedly, when I heard you tell the snow trip story on Van Vliet, I was like, he's playing that up. That surely couldn't have been how it happened. That's how it happened.
And now it's 91 degrees outside, and I still haven't seen the snow the whole year. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I was really looking forward to that trip because It's been a while since I've been to the snow, okay? And I'm just recently gotten engaged, okay? Maybe I was going to make love in the snow, try something new, and I couldn't. But that's sacrifices. That's the kind of television champion I am. I sacrificed my love trip for opportunity.
You mentioned the TV title. Unique set of rules in the NWA for that. How does that affect you as a performer? I like it. It adds a different...
Oh, how does it affect? It turns me on. It turns me on. You know why? Because I read.
Because you like to finish in 5 minutes?
Exactly. Less. I've never needed 6 minutes and 5 seconds, ever. So I don't know what to do with the remaining time. But they've given me a lucky 7 rule. And I feel that with all the things people have been saying about me on the internet, that I want to prove that I'm a fighting champion. So I thought about searching high and low for the best talent that I can possibly find, which I've been looking. And I think when Power comes back on night 1, I'm just going to defend my title 7 times in a row. And then get my hands on what I call the 10 pounds of pink.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. So you win the TV title. Obviously, NWA said, "Oh, maybe we'll have something for you." You become TV champion. You have these obligations now where you got to have these things set up. Do you see this as a long-term relationship with NWA, or are you like signed to them? Or are you working per date? How's that working?
Well, we had a little negotiations for a while. Believe it or not, I held on to that title without a contract. Ooh. So I could have, and that's a scary spot. You don't want to have Zicky Dice hold on the title on a contract without on a contract, because that means Zicky Dice can do whatever he wants. And if some of these ideas come into my mind sometimes, it's been hard to tame Zicky Dice. A lot of my exes will tell you the same. This one did it. But the contract I'm under right now is until the new year. This goes through January. And we'll see. And I've got goals, and I hate that word. I've got plans. And you'll never know where you'll see Zicky Dice or where he'll end up or what's next. But I'm looking to build the Zicky Dice stock, and I'm looking to build the brand as a whole, and I'm literally looking to take over the masses.
And I know I've made a couple jokes about Tim Storm here, but when he did not have a contract, but he had that 10 pounds of gold, there were companies that offered him a substantial amount of money to go behind Billy and Dave's back in order to, make some things happen. So the fact that they did work with you and that championship was around your waist without a contract, I think that probably speaks to something, whether it be their confidence in you, the level of talent, or the how they believed in you. Because
I love NWA inside and out. Do not get me wrong, and I'm very proud to hold this championship. And just stop for a second and think about everyone that's held this championship before me. Mm-hmm. What happened to them after they lost that championship? I'll answer that for you. Mega stardom, and that's what's next. I mean, just look at the statistics. What do you think? The Catholic Church wanted to make me a saint because I'm so honest. I wouldn't lie to you right here, right now.
I don't think you'd lie to me at all.
Thank you.
I trust you. You seem like a trustworthy person.
Yeah, I'm a little crabby. I lost a big poker game last night, but we're
Did
here.
You?
Yeah.
High stakes?
High enough.
Well, I invested in Hertz stock last week, and they declared bankruptcy. So, yeah. Such is life.
That's the big boy gambling right there.
Yeah, it is. It is. You had mentioned that you were backstage at the NWA pay-per-view before you started. How was that experience? Did you get any feedback, any type of... How did you feel back there? Did you feel at home? Did you feel a little...
It depends who you ask. I walked in with a blue sparkly spike shoes, freshly bleached mullet curls shining bright. And some people like to say, and who will remain nameless, that I walked in like I owned the place. And they went and told the office that I walked in like I owned the place and yada, yada, yada. No, it was just a confidence. Yeah, I felt at home. And now I feel even better because now I have the television championship. So I don't care who says what, or I felt good. I felt damn good. I might even take off my shoes next time.
Who told the office that? Who would do that?
Oh, someone that's very afraid of a new star coming in.
Goddamn Tim Storm again. Goddamn Tim Storm. So they've launched this Carny Land show, and when I would pester Dave Lagana before, be like, "What is this? What is this?" And he's like, "You're gonna have to watch and see." And it was something very different. It was almost like a variety show. And the thing is, wrestling's already kind of a variety show. So when you take a variety show and you add more variety to it, you get Carny Land, which I thought was really, really good. It highlighted a lot of personalities that maybe we don't see shine through as much. Of course, we saw yours shine through. What was that experience like, and how did you feel when they told you that they were doing that?
Mixed emotions at first. But my plan is to over deliver every single week. And as soon as we get off, we start from scratch every Wednesday, and then we bring to you the product by Tuesday. I also had another bit that didn't make it into the show only because of editing time this week, because we're just grinding right now and we want to produce and stay relevant. And I look at this as a huge opportunity for Zicky to grow. And by that, I want to outshine everybody else every single week and over-deliver week after week. And so no matter what, I'm like, hey, well, these Zicky Dice's bits were awesome. Those were great. But I think I dig Carny Land. I'm not just saying that because I'm a part of the NWA, but I think the last 2 weeks, it's been entertaining, and it's going to be hard. And what's going to be hard is to stay creative and keep mixing it up. We don't want to give people things that they expect. And a lot of my wild ideas get shut down. But I'm going to pitch some more wild ones today. And as soon as they say yes, I want to bring a Jackass type of feel to Carny Land. That's what I will bring. That's what I grew up on, is Jackass. And if there's anyone who wants to ride a bike on fire into a lake, it's outlandish Zicky Dice. And I swear to you, I will. I'm from in California. Fun fact, Chris Pontius' dad is a doctor, and most of the cool stuff that you see on Jackass was filmed 10 minutes from my house.
His dad's a doctor? Like
Dr. Pontius, dude.
And Steve-O's dad was like an executive for Pepsi or something. Like,
really? I didn't know that. That's insane.
Yeah, he grew up at like in several different countries, grew up like fluent in Spanish because they lived in South America or something like that. What? I'm mind boggled right now. These people of privilege that are just like.
I played the song the other day as I was pitching these ideas, just a little, you know, and I got so hyped. Like if I hear that before, I'll do some dumb shit.
Yeah. Oh man.
I love doing
that is the Festus Bell of our generation. Like we hear that and we jump off of things. Like it's natural.
Yeah, me and my buddies when that came out, we had a show called Dumbass.
Yeah.
Where we did, the Do Not Try This at Home, but of course we tried it at home, hence wrestling and jackass stuff.
We called ours Vidiots.
That's great. God damn, so good. Vidiots. Damn it. That's good. You know, and that's what I want to bring. I don't want people to expect the same thing week after week. And as we're starting up, you know, it's a learning curve. We're NWA and Carny Land. We're open to suggestions. We want to see what people like and don't be shy. Do not be shy.
So one of the things I liked about Carny Land was Nick Aldis telling like an indie horror story. And I always like to ask people who have experience on the indies, do you have any indie horror stories, or maybe stories where you went into that indie date thinking, man, this is shady, and then you were pleasantly surprised, like, damn, this went a lot better than I thought it would.
There's two that come to mind. One I'm actually in the middle of right now that someone just asked me for an interview about. There's some guy who started IWO. Have you heard of this guy? I
haven't.
Let me give you his name because you're going to be reading a lot about him.
So
I was contacted by this gentleman who is, his name is, one second. His name is James Dennis. And James Dennis is throwing a show in Kennewick, Washington at the Toyota Center with Kid Rock headlining. And he wants to book Zicky Dice June 27th. I said, I gave him my rate and we talked. And now I am confirmed on the website and there's pictures and all my moves and all this stuff. And I don't know how we got there because I never confirmed anything for no Kid Rock show at the Toyota Center. And I love Kid Rock. Will I do the show? Absolutely. Just confirm with me, James Dennis. Even if this is fake, we can work it out together. I love doing fake hustles.
WWE Hall of Famer Kid Rock.
Yeah, so that's what I'm dealing with there. So someone asked me, I guess he's, I don't know. We think that he is going around trying to find out business information from everybody. But hey, there's plenty of facts in wrestling, and here's one. Another story that comes to mind is when I worked for IWA Mid-South when I was greener than goose shit.
Oh, boy.
And Ian Rotten, good old Ian Rotten goes on a 75-minute tangent about how when he worked at some show that the sun was shining on the tinfoil roof and it was 139 degrees in the venue and he didn't stop working for the 12 fans, some bullshit. And then he sat there and he said, is it anyone's first time here? And I looked around and I raised my hand. He said, did you get paid yet? And I said, no. He's like, you didn't get your envelope? He's like, anyone get an envelope? He's like, oh yeah, you got paid. It's working here. Go put that on your fucking resume and go make more money somewhere else. Needless to say, I never put IWA Mid-South on my resume, and I'm doing just fine. So there's that story for you.
Oh, no shocker. He is the reason why Kentucky.
Shocker there.
He's the reason why Kentucky has an athletic commission that presides over wrestling. And before you get licensed to be a pro wrestler, like before you take a bump to train, you have to go get a license to be a pro wrestler, which is the weirdest shit I've ever heard of. It's like giving somebody a driver's license before they learn how to drive.
Yeah, in Louisiana too. So before I wrestle, you have to pay. I had to get blood work done. I had to send that in from California over there. And then you got to see the commissioner who just, I don't know, dude. You look at him and give him the money. He's like, all right, yes. It's like some old dude with little glasses. He's
money
like
grab. It's a money grab. It's all a money grab. I would ask.
It's funny. They say one of the rules is no pile drivers, but these guys don't even know what pile driver is. So like they literally don't know. They just know it's like, oh, the word no pile driver. So that's the commissioner for you.
I would ask Kentucky because I managed some MMA fighters out here in our fight team, and they would be like, oh, well, we categorize pro wrestling the same as MMA. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I know there's a few other states. I'm not sure all of them.
DC does it, too.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mississippi?
Yeah, probably them. Bunch of places in the east and south. It's so weird, man.
Stupid.
It's so weird. As we wrap up, you had mentioned doing some WWE extra work. How did that go?
Oh, you're hearing some of my favorite stories.
That's what we do here.
I went to I did WWE extra work my first time in June 2018. I walked in. I was in the conga line for No Way Jose. There's a clip of me there in the conga line. and I had a little tryout match. I got a round of applause after, and it was all great. And I was like all hyped from that. Cool. Go back to June 2019 and get another standing ovation. And Devon walks up to me. He's like, listen, he's like, can I critique your match? I said, yes. He said, the only thing wrong with it is that Vince McMahon wasn't there to see it himself. All I did, I took one bump. All I did is I walked in, I turned 5 single $1 bills into hundreds right in front of their face. I did a few magic tricks in the match, and then I do a spinning neck breaker that where cards come raining out of nowhere, and that's all I did in there. And Adam Pearce walked up to me after. He said, Zicky, so you popped everyone around the ring, but can you work? And I said, with all due respect, I said, if I would have actually worked, would you have watched? He's all, who trained you? And I said, Seth Rollins. He's like, all right. Shane McMahon walks up to me at the airport. He's like, are you the magic guy I heard about all day? Blah, blah, blah. And then, dude, this story gets wild. And then Steve Corino was like, hey, that was great, blah, blah, blah. And we're getting all this good advice. And I was going to NXT that week to do extra work as well. He's like, you should go and talk to Triple H. You should go and tell him what happened here. And I was like, all riding high on this horse. I was like, oh, dude, that's it. In the bag, you know? And I go up and talk to Triple H like I was told to do. And I was like, hey, H. I was like, I'm here for the next 2 days. I was told to talk to you. All I need is 30 seconds of your time. He's like, yeah, sure. So the next day I was outside on the phone call. And he walks past. I said, hey, you got a minute? He's all, absolutely not. And then I was walked outside and I was like, hey, if this was Raw or SmackDown, we would have kicked you out. We would have asked you to never come back. Blah, 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 blah. I said, why? And he said, you're not supposed to go out and talk to Triple H. I said, well, I was told to. And they said, by who? And Steve, I was like, that man right there and them over there. And he's like, nope, that's not how it works. And I said, all right, so be it. So I left, and that was that. And, you know, like it kind of broke my mentality a little bit. You know, I had Jeff Jarrett come up and be like, dude, you're a star. Like, you're a star, blah, blah, blah. This. We never give anyone standing ovation. Go talk to Triple H, blah, 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 blah. Vince McMahon should have seen your match, you know, and then making me go back to my job at the time, and real world was tough mentally. And the best advice I got was make yourself undeniable. So I took that experience. I was like, all right, dude, you can taste it. You can see it. Like, let's go get it.
Man, that's an unbelievable story. That is fantastic.
It's a true story. You can ask Levi Shapiro and you can ask the crew that was there. Wow. Standing ovation, and it was unreal. It was an unreal. And they're like, we don't do that. Like, this doesn't happen. And I never heard anything from it. So I will say this: extra work is for the birds, and I am not an extra. And that's that.
Do you think that you needed that experience to kind of learn that?
I knew that beforehand, but I went to, you got to show face. You got to let them see. Like, and I walked in with a hot pink suit, pink shoes, pink fanny pack. You know how I do. And that's exactly how I did. I turned heads everywhere I went. Michael Hayes walked up to me and said, oh, you're stealing my look, kid. And I said, I would never do that, Dad. That's what I said in front of everybody. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do and let the past. It's different times now, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Michael Hayes seems like the kind of person that would have appreciated what you were doing there. Like, man, that's fantastic. So as we wrap up, anything else you want out there? NWA TV champion, you're all over Twitch. People can check out the music all over the place.
You know, if you're not following this outlandish journey I call life, now is the time. So you can be like, hey, he said this back when. At Zicky Dice on every piece of social media, I am going live, full-time streaming. I am bringing the most outlandish stream to the World Wide Web, and that starts next week at twitch.tv/Zicky Dice. And I wish I could tell you what's in store, but listen, if you don't just do that now, you're going to hear about it, and you're going to want to witness this shit. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, I saw a little green screen preview before all this, and I was like, damn, that was awesome. I don't even use a green screen because I can't get it as clear as that. Like, I was impressed.
It's tough, and that's the learning we've had to do. And myself and my team, I've got an awesome team that works with me that is Zicky Dice, believe it or not. I should shout everybody out because not everyone knows that. But I've got a great team from video, graphics, editing, to a live team, to wardrobe, I've got a pretty dope team that I'm building. So shout out to the Zicky Dice team and brand. But we have some wild shit coming up, and that's all I can say about that.
Guys, make sure you check out all the stuff Zicky Dice is doing. You can see him on Carny Land, on NWA's YouTube channel. You can follow him at Zicky Dice on Twitter, twitch.tv/Zicky Dice. You can check out everything. Like, my God, there's just so much. There's so much Zicky Dice content out there. The music, you guys need to be checking that out. Zicky, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, I'm going to do something right here, right now. You've officially been outlandishly blessed. So thank you so much for having me. That's right.
See, that's a lot more personal than that priest that was water gunning kids with the holy water. That was a lot better. I appreciate that.
One before it didn't work, but yes, I'm glad we found this. So thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor, and we'll look forward to doing this again.
Guys, until next time, we're out.